like to give everybody out there listening a very warm White Cat welcome, because you're tuned in to the White Cat Outdoors podcast. What's going on, everybody? Tom, what episode is this?
20-something?
21.
21, yeah.
21?
21. Every week I always forget. And you'd think I'd remember because it's just...
because we're just getting up so high up there. It's hard to keep track.
It is. It's very hard to keep track. So, well, you've heard everyone talking. Me, Nick, and Tom are all here. And Nick, what are we talking about?
The three of us have, along with some other people, we've got a out-of-state turkey hunt planned for Memorial Day up in the great state of New York. So we're going to talk a little bit about the property we're hunting, maybe our plans, goals, that sort of thing. Going to be a pretty loose episode. Like I said, we're going up to hunting camp, but it's out of state. We're going to talk about how we're going to approach that, and goals that we're going to have for the weekend and whatnot. So,
Tom, what's your goal for the weekend?
So I'm actually going up this weekend, do a little
Oh, all right. I didn't know you were going up this weekend.
Yeah, doing a little pre-Memorial Day bird hunting scouting. And
are you hunting or just scouting?
Yeah, I plan on killing a longbeard.
Okay. So you're just going to get a little jump on the game.
Yeah, I may or may not save a tag for Memorial Day weekend.
Well, then you can just call for me and I'll lay one down with my bow.
Yeah. If I probably will. I'm going to get one longbeard. Could be two. I don't know. We'll see how the weekend plans out.
Might get bigger. We don't know. We don't know yet.
But yeah, so that's my goal. Actually, guys, I'm going to let you know something. I've never killed a longbeard. So, yeah. I know, it's depressing, but...
I was going to say more surprising, because, man, you can call a turkey.
I mean, your name is Tom, so the fact that Tom hasn't been killing toms is I've been pretty wild.
Been killing
Don't
turkeys.
tell me that a 4-inch beard is a tom.
No,
that's where you're going with this.
I was going to say I've been killing turkeys. I've been calling turkeys in for other people.
Just the old Jakes from State Farm.
I've missed a few longbeards in my day. I just get so excited up there, and I just...
It does happen.
JoJo the circus boy
gets
with
the
a
best
pretty
of me.
pet.
But I think I got my emotions under control now, and this weekend we're gonna get the job done.
Right on. Yeah, I think after, was it 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks?
Opening day.
Day.
Oh,
yeah.
I mean, if you're okay with it, that'd be a good little story to talk about. How our turkey season's going so far, if you want.
Yeah, I don't care.
All right, jump right in.
Okay, New York opener, day one. Me and Frank, we get up to the cabin.
Camera's rolling.
No, camera's not rolling at this
point.
point.
No, not at the cabin? You guys didn't do a little...
Not the night before, Nick.
That's wild.
If you just let me finish my story. Anyway, get up to the cabin night before. We go out, try and roost these birds with no luck. And I said, I know they're not gobbling tonight, but I've been scouting these birds hard. I know exactly where they're roosting, where they're coming down in the morning. Showed Frank on the map where we need to get set up to get it done. And next thing you know, we're crawling into our cots, getting ready for bed. Alarm clock goes off at 4 a.m. I make a nice cup of coffee, and
you didn't even get that cup of coffee until we got back from hunting. You forgot about it on the stove.
Little side story. Yeah, I made a coffee with the percolator, and it wasn't ready by the time we left the camp to go hunting. So I forgot to take it off the stove. So by the time I got back, it had percolated probably like 50 times. So it was
I would say more than that.
It was like
a couple hours.
Oil. Yeah. However many times it perks in like 3 hours. But yeah, it was like kind of like motor oil. It was not very good. Kind of wanted to throw up the whole time I was drinking it. But
you did power through it, though.
Yeah, that was my punishment for missing a bird.
Tom, you just blew the ending of the story.
Yeah, I missed a bird. But we'll get to that story. So I tell Frank right where we need to set up. We get in there bright and still dark.
And dark and early.
Dark and early. And we're setting up. Frank's got the camera, getting ready to roll. Everything's perfect. Beautiful, clear, calm morning. And it's starting to get light out. And I'm like, why haven't we heard any gobbles yet? I'm starting to get a little bit nervous. And just when I think, like, okay, these birds are probably getting ready to fly down, we hear the first gobble. And he's
not
close.
Far.
Yeah, he's poker straight in front of us, right up the hill, just like I thought. And a couple more birds start going off down the hillside, one behind us. And I'm like, oh, we're right in the middle of these babies.
And even
So-
we heard a bunch of different turkeys, but they weren't like hammering. It was just
Yeah.
a gobble here, gobble there. So just enough to figure out how many birds were around.
Yeah. So we were close enough. We heard them fly down, and they each gobbled 1 or 2 times when they hit the ground. And I decided I was just going to let out some soft yelps and some clucks just, to let them know where we're at. I do that, and absolutely nothing. Silence. I'm like, what the heck? What's going on? I've never had these birds act like this before. And so I just sit there quiet, and not 15 minutes later, one comes right down the hill, right at us. And he gets to the creek, which is like probably 50 yards, stops, goes into like a little 3/4 strut real quick, comes back out of it, crosses the creek. Then he gets like behind this little knoll that's probably like 20, 25 yards away. And his head's peeking up on the other side of this knoll. And I don't know what happened. Just choked under the pressure, I guess. Couldn't handle
While the
being on film.
camera was rolling, yeah.
Yeah, and I laid an egg, blew a shot right over his head, and he flew off, then landed, and I watched him walk up the hill out of my life.
And he was just fine.
Yeah, we didn't find a feather, nothing.
Not even a nose hair.
No.
Not even one.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah. Good news is I hardly did any calling, so I didn't educate them very much to my calling sequence.
Yes, you say to the calling sequence.
Just to the gunshot.
Yeah,
but if they're hearing the gunshot, it's already too late to get scared.
Yeah.
Most of the time.
yeah, not this case.
Yeah.
He still had ample time to get scared. But that's not going to happen this weekend. By the time you guys are hearing this, you're probably already going to be seeing pictures posted on Instagram, and you're going to be like, that's the bird Tom was talking about on the podcast. That's the long beard. And I'm going to be like, yeah. So you got that to look forward to.
I'm glad that that's all you have to say, but yeah. You want
Well-
to tell them the story?
Well, I'm going to tell him the story. I don't have the story yet. The story's coming Saturday. So
Coming soon, ...
yeah. It's
To a
going to be
theater
awesome.
near you.
Yeah. So that was the day one opener here in over there in New York, not here.
Here, nor
Not
there.
here. Kansas.
And PA, it's been a grind. Opening morning out at the new farm. We called in a hen, and actually this hen had a gobbler with him, but he didn't trail along. We heard this gobble, and then we heard a hen hammer right back. He hammered back to her, so my dad's like, we better try and call in this hen, see if the gobbler will trail. So dad calls, hen hammers back, wait a few minutes, call again, hen hammers back, and now she's close. And I start seeing her about 60 yards, and I'm like, oh, that gobbler's got to be following right behind her. And hen comes into about 20 yards, and not a single gobbler in sight. I don't know what the heck happened. But
Wasn't horny enough.
I guess not. So next time I went out was later on in that week. I think I went out Thursday before work. And I got closer to where I thought these birds were roosting. And hear him hammering away on the roost. He flies down, start calling. He's hammering back. He's hot. And we're working him for about 20 minutes. And next thing you know, here comes old Miss Hen
Bitch.
yelping away.
You probably weren't using cat calls, were you?
No, you didn't make me any this year.
All you got to do is ask.
I did
And
ask at the beginning of the season. But still haven't got them. Maybe they're on back order.
They are.
There is a lot of
Orders have
orders.
been high.
I've been grinding on them the last couple
So would
weeks.
you like chew on them or something? Like, why aren't the ones you got last year any good?
I only use mouth calls for a year. And then,
I always tell Tom they're good for at least 5-10 years.
no.
They are.
I used to only get
I use a
back,
high quality latex. That really good stuff.
back in my Copenhagen days, I'd have one shot midway through the season. Just something about that nicotine and tobacco juice really dries out the latex. But
That's surprising. You'd think they'd hold up to that. You think they would engineer them for dealing with that sort
Yeah,
of thing.
It's
Tell you what, tough to call with a chew in your mouth.
yeah, for some.
Not when you're a pro.
Not for
Talking
me.
to the long beard killer over here.
We'll see. So anyway, intercepted by the hen. Nothing you can do about that. It's just, yeah, it's tough. So next week, me and my dad are like, we're going to get right in on this guy, and we're going to get him before the hen intercepts us. So we set up on him. Same bird, starts gobbling right on the roost. We think we're about 50 yards closer than last time. And he flies down. We can hear him fly down. And he just hangs up out there. He's gobbling his head off every time we call. And next thing I know, I hear some hen clucking behind me. And I'm like, oh, no, not you. And she circles around us and walks straight up to that gobbler and takes him away out of my life. So I figured out just where he's roosting. Could pretty much tell you the tree. But
You know, blast them right out of it.
no, not going to do that. That's unlawful. But what I am going to do is find his strut zone. And that's where I'm going to sit. Because he's going to fly down right into it.
It's going to get ugly after that.
That's the plan. I've had these plans in my head pretty much every season where it's like a foolproof plan that's guaranteed to work out every single time. And
It looks phenomenal on paper.
Yeah. You just think, like, I've seen this bird do this every day for the past week. So I'm just going to set up here. He's going to do the same thing. He's going to fly right into my lap. And he flies out the other direction and, you know, it's out of your life. But
Not much you can do.
no, not really. But Nick, how's your season been going?
Season's been slow. I've been attacking turkeys with the bow this year. Decided to up myself, challenge myself, I guess. No blind either. I know some people are against that, but no blind. I think it's working out so good right now. But
Have you called any in?
I had called a hen in, and then I had one gobbler at about 70 yards. That's
And you weren't throwing carbon at it?
No, I like to get them inside of 60, but no, I'm just kidding. No, I really am trying to pull them inside of 30 before I shoot.
Yeah.
The closer the better. I was talking to Rich over at Indoor Outfitters, and he's killed a lot of turkeys without a blind. And what he's always done was kind of setting up, facing away from where you think they're coming. So what he basically will do is try and figure out where they're heading, like in a field, and he's going to face the other way. So like the birds basically walk past him.
So they're facing away from him by the time he's drawing.
Yeah. So basically, he'll put his decoys out, say 40 yards past him, so the birds see that and like work right past him, have no idea he's there. And once they get about 10 yards past him, looking at the decoys, then he draws back and shoots them. And he said that's worked really well. So I'm probably going to steal that idea and try it out a little bit, because I haven't thought through the process enough. Like I feel like
because you haven't messed up enough
Exactly.
at it yet.
So I've been trying to take as many pointers as I can. Like I said, I've only had one gobbler in sight so far. I've had them gobbling every morning, but only a few that were like in range. Like I had heard a couple the one morning that were more closer to where Tom was hunting, a couple hundred yards away. But been a slow season so far. Pretty cold season as well.
Yeah, it's been pretty wet too.
But I'm also doing a little pre-scouting this weekend in New York with Tom. So hoping to get the job done.
Right on. Well, hopefully you guys have the birds all warmed up for when I come up the weekend
Try and
after.
save
There's not
some
gonna be
for
any
you.
left.
We'll try
They
and
will
save
all be
some.
dead.
I got a little inside information from a good buddy of mine up there, Mr. Grabsky, and he's hooking me up with a little honey hole on his farm where he's been hearing birds and seeing birds almost every morning. So
They're in trouble.
Is that relatively close to where you and me hunted last year up there? Like
no.
that field or no?
No,
No?
not really.
So, I know we said we were going to talk about our out-of-state hunt up at Morrison. You and Tom, or looking at Frank when I say that, Frank and Tom have a pretty solid plan that they go through every year in order to get a bird down. And it worked 2 years ago, kind of, just
Ish.
without Frank.
Yeah.
But if you guys
I think
want
we
maybe
talked about that a couple weeks ago, actually.
the full story of
Yeah.
like your guys's like your route and everything. I know we didn't cover like how you guys hunt that property.
I don't know. I
No,
thought
we definitely didn't.
So why don't you guys take it from there?
Basically, okay. So
There I was.
our plan is to set up in the cornfield. So let me paint a picture for you. There's a
You're gonna draw shapes for us.
it's been a few weeks since you got the shapes out.
There's a cornfield, okay? And on the north side of that cornfield, in the woods, probably about 150 yards, is huge gully that goes pretty much across the entire property. And that's typically where those birds roost, is in that gully. And there's a corn stand right in the middle of the cornfield. And we set up in there because every morning those birds fly down and they fart around in the woods for a little while. And every morning they work their way up into that cornfield, pretty much right in front of the corn stand. So me and Frank get this idea that we're going to sit in the corn stand and we're just going to wait them out. So we get in there and we hear birds gobbling on the roost, and they fly down and we hear them gobbling in the woods. And then they shut up. So we're like, all right, we need to get in the woods and get after those birds because they're silent now. So we go in, get on the edge of the gully, start calling. And usually the first time we call, we hear birds hammer back.
Mm-hmm.
So
And not terribly far.
yeah, not far at all. So we, work a little bit closer, get set up, and call again, and they hammer back. And next thing you know it, we do like this little switcheroo where now the birds are out in the field right in front of the stand we were at, and me and Frank were where the turkeys were. So it works out just like that pretty much every time.
I think we got a good run about 5-6 years going now with that plan.
Yeah.
And it works out exactly that way every single time.
So then we're kind of like, shit, we should have just stayed in the corn stand because that's right where they're at. But corn stand's like probably 60 yards off the field edge, so it's not like you can creep up to the woods or the wood line and poke them out from there. They're too far into the field. So then we're like, we'll leave those birds for later. Let them do their thing out in the field. Come back into the woods, and then we'll try and call them in again. So while we're letting them do their thing, we usually work the whole gully edge all the way down across the farm, just calling. And by the time we get down to the lower Lynn farm, there's usually gobblers in the field down there. And it's really nice because there's these pine trees that you can kind of hide in. And we peek out through those pine trees. You see the turkeys out there, you call, they gobble back. And then you kind of loop around to get yourself into a good position. And by the time you do that, the birds have gone back into the woods and you have no idea where they went. So it's been working out just like that really well. But last year, I was actually able to seal the deal on this setup. So I told Frank, I said, Frank, these birds are hot. You got to come with me. He's like, no, I got to go home. Can't go with you. I'm like, well, I'm going to go get one then. And he's like, go right ahead. So I go down there, do my route down to the lower Lynn farm, and I get down there, and there's birds out in the field. So I sit down, and I wait, and it probably took 15 minutes for them to walk right out in front of me. Smoked one at like 40 yards with my Benelli, 3.5s, of course. And
Naturally, nothing but.
yeah, there was actually a group of 4 of them, and I poked the lead one and had my bird back to camp. Frank was still there. I said, buddy,
Yikes.
could have came with me.
I was about
could've had
to.
a
I was
double.
literally like leaving when you got, and then I had to stay for a celebratory cold one.
Yep, then we had a celebratory cold one, and then Frank ran over our birdhouse.
I sure did. I was
And-
smashed after that one celebratory cold one.
We
Yeah,
put the birdhouse up backwards.
and
Yeah. It was actually about that point. Tom came back. It was only 7:30 maybe. Maybe we could quit playing with that because it's coming right through the mic. It's a pen. But anyway,
And
so
it's broken
about
now.
7:30 or so, Tom gets back to camp with his bird. Tom tells us, me and Joe, he's like, hey, you guys should really get out there. There's still 3 more birds, and you guys should definitely get after it. So me and Joe headed down kind of close to where Tom started, jumped up there, and called for a while, nothing really answering, called a little more. Joe did some calling, I did some calling, back and forth. Next thing you know, we get 3 Jakes coming up over the hill. Joe had never shot a gobbler before, so I told him, I said, when you're comfortable, take a shot, and I'll see what I can't do. So bird just breaks 40. Joe lets one have it, starts rolling on the ground. The other 2 take flight. I line up on one, midair, shoot, boom, hits the ground. We both jump up, run after these birds, and just like that, we had 3 turkeys down. So
Yeah, it was an
Pretty
eventful
wild.
morning.
but I tell you what, that's not my approach this weekend going up there. Like I said, I got some insight from my good buddy John, and I'm just going to go sit in a hedgerow, and I'm actually going to wait for him to come out. I know.
Really?
Now, are you going to go with the quiet method? Play a quiet game on
He's
him?
going to say he's not going to call, and then he's going to get nervous at about 6:30 and let out a call.
No, I'm going to set out some decoys, and I'm just going to sit there and wait. Like, every year I say that's what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to do it
So
this year.
I was going to say, what about this year is different that you are convinced that you are going to sit there and wait it out?
I'm tired of blowing it.
Here, Tom, if I were you, if that's your plan, leave your calls at home.
No, because you can't do that. Because you gotta
Because what if plans change?
give them a little enticement. Sometimes.
But if you're not going to call, why would you need to entice them?
Sometimes you need to have a call because if they're in full strut, you need to let out a quick yep, 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 so they gobble, stick their head out, and you can smoke them.
And how many times have you been in that scenario?
I haven't yet.
But you're ready for it.
I've actually shot birds in full strut before, but kind of messes up the breast feathers.
Yeah, I've done that before. Actually, no, I messed up the fan big time on that.
Yeah. So if you can get them to turn sideways and poke their head out, you're a little bit better off. So
Definitely.
that's why I'm going to keep my calls. Other than that, they are going to not make a peep.
What calls are you going to be not making a peep with? You got what do you keep in the bag? I guess what are your go-to calls while you're out there in the turkey woods?
I have a slate call, homemade by Mr. Tom Krantz himself. I have a friction call, homemade by Frank Myers himself. It's actually I believe this one's a glass call. Real nice call. Loud.
Glad you like it.
I have an aluminum pot call.
That's a really nice call.
Yeah,
You showed me that one a couple weeks ago, and I really like that
Yeah,
call.
she barks. She really gets out there.
Yeah, that's definitely like the loudest pod call I've ever heard.
I have a box call. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I don't even know what kind of box call it is. It's one of them easy box calls that.
Speaking of box calls, have you seen that blackjack game calls? I've seen it all over social media lately, but they're like based out of New York, like right up kind of close to camp.
I haven't seen him.
Yeah, Sharpie's all about them.
Yeah, that's what I'm
Oh,
saying.
really? He uses-
Yeah, he got both of his birds on them this year.
Yeah, he's been putting in the work. We had him on the podcast a couple weeks ago talking turkeys, and he's really been getting her done.
Yeah, he was telling us he was planning his public land. The title of the podcast was "Killing Public Land Turkeys" with Keith Sharp,
And he sure did it.
I think we need to have him back on. I'll talk to him because now he's gone to the public land and he killed both his birds already.
Yeah.
So I think maybe it'd be cool. Maybe next week we'll bring him back on and do like a recap because clearly whatever he's doing on that public land works. So if you weren't paying attention the first time, open your ears.
You'll hear the
and listen
stories
again.
this time.
So, but yeah, that was it. You obviously
That was it.
Yeah, Tom used mouth calls as well, not cat calls, of course.
No, 'cause Nick
Special
didn't make
edition.
any.
Yep. Well, all you gotta do is ask. So,
But
he didn't even ask
I already did earlier on the podcast.
earlier. Later.
Using the phone. But yeah, I got 3 mouth calls that I keep in there. I really only use one, but it's an Easy Rasp.
Which one's your one like your go-to? You say,
Easy Rasp.
and you replace that every year.
Yep.
And with the stores closed this year,
Internet, buddy.
I haven't seen any packages for Tom Subs at the house. I feel like maybe you just threw out the calls I made you last year.
No, you see, I actually got a pretty sweet setup for my granddad. He turkey hunted all over the country, but he's hanging up his turkey hunting boots, and he had this turkey vest full of unopened mouth calls that
Oh, so they're just better than the cat calls.
the ones that you didn't get me, yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess you got to know somebody.
A call is better than no call. So
That's what I always say.
Yeah, there was a famous guy that said that, I'm sure. Probably.
yeah, I did.
Oh. How about that?
Yeah, and that's my write it in pen for the segment.
Always ask for calls ahead of time.
Yeah, Tom's right in pen. No call is better than a call. Right? No. A
A
call is better than no call.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah. With that in my arsenal, I call it my little bag of tricks that I keep in my vest. And That's what I keep in my bag of tricks is those calls. And yeah, hasn't been successful yet this year, but this weekend is when
Feel my
it all
first bird
changes.
coming on real soon.
It's gonna be wild.
So, are you holding out for a long beard?
Yes.
Or is that going to
Yep.
be a game time decision?
No, I know there's big birds in this area, and I botched my opportunity at a Jake, so.
Tell you what, I don't care what walks out in front of me with my bow. It's getting the hammer down. It's
Yeah, that's how I feel.
if I can see the slightest little bit of beard poking out, it's going down.
Yeah, any
Or
chin
it-
hair and it's
I shouldn't say it's going down. It's definitely getting an arrow flung at it. Hopefully, it's going down.
You're going no blind as well, right?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I just need Tom to really come in clutch with the calling and bring
Well,
him right in my lap.
We're going to bring the camera up too. We'll do some videotaping. Speaking of videotaping, this is like way off topic, but I got an email from Lone Wolf this morning.
Oh yeah.
Talking about, so a couple weeks ago we talked about the pocket arm and we did our review and everything. Well, Lone Wolf kind of like whoever's running their email, I think it's Ashley, emailed us saying, thanks for purchasing the camera arm, whatever. If you guys are interested in helping us with some feedback and doing some like research and development on the camera, let me know. So I got back to her and she just emailed me back this morning.
Nice.
Let me know that that COVID, everything's kind of backed up, but
Yeah.
they're still interested in doing something with us. So that's coming. We'll be using the camera arm quite a bit. She did, say hopefully you guys are enjoying it and using it up, which we are so far. So it's been pretty sweet.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, so we got that to look forward to. Hopefully you guys will be seeing some turkey hunting films coming.
Oh, they're coming.
Luke said, I think he's releasing our turkey calling video, which is a little late, but I mean, there's a lot of people out there that haven't got their bird yet, and I think Tom's turkey tactics and tricks.
Talking turkey tactics.
Talking turkey tactics and tricks.
Does it have Tom in front? Tom's talking turkey tactics
I think it's
Tom?
Tom Turkey talking tactics
with
today.
Tom.
Yeah,
Yes.
something like that. But anyway, if you haven't gotten a bird yet, you're going to want to tune into this video. It's coming soon because it's guaranteed you'll be sealing the deal better late than never. So
As often as Tom does.
I usually get it done every year, but it's usually just
Takes
late
a
in the
little
season.
late
and
bloomer.
I just decide, you know what? I'm done passing up Jake's. Next one that comes in is getting hammered.
And what's the fun in getting a bird the first weekend? Because now what do you do the rest of turkey season?
Yeah, you
What are
can't
your
hunt anymore.
thumbs?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could jump to another state, but
Yeah.
I just like to hunt them up. Wait till that last weekend and really get the job done then.
But now that Tom's a working man, he can't just go jumping state to state
You know,
anymore.
and speaking of working man, when this whole podcast started, Tom was just your unemployed,
Bum
state funded college guy.
I haven't been unemployed since I couldn't even tell you when.
Nah, student worker. He was the old government. You fine folks out there were paying his checks at the old university. But anyways, that's all in the past now. Tom, do you want to just give us a quick life update?
Big time
on,
college grad. There he is.
Yeah, because this is big stuff here for
I am a
White Cat.
college grad. I graduated from Edinburgh University with a degree in criminal justice. Actually, I graduated on with the dean's list. Is that better than the honor list or honor roll?
I don't
Dean's
know.
list is like above a 3.5 GPA.
Whatever, like the good one is.
Dean's.
Yeah,
Whatever the good one. I think they're all good.
yeah, the better one.
Unless you don't get any of them.
Yeah, I think the only one's I think shit list is the one you don't want to be on. But
That was a
other than
bad list.
I didn't
Yeah.
make that one. So, criminal justice degree, and next thing you know, I'm selling printer supplies. So,
For Michael Scott,
no, that's paper, buddy.
I thought you guys did sell paper on the side.
I mean,
On the low?
on a little bit, but no. our
Competing
main
with Dwight
thing is
Schrute?
inkjet cartridges and toners. So, if any of you listeners out there need printer, copy, or fax supplies,
You're just
Hit
giving
me
them
up.
free advertisement right now. They don't even pay for that ad.
I know. So yeah, I can hook you up. We'll get you a deal.
How would they get a hold of you? Do you have a business card or something you could get to them?
I will, but just message White Cat for now.
So now we work.
How about they just message you instead of White Cat?
Well, they might not
White
have
Cat
what-
doesn't sell the printer supplies.
I'm I'm
We drop ship.
gonna go out on a limb and say nobody's probably gonna.
The only thing on a limb right now is turkeys. That's what we're
They're
after.
probably not on a limb right now, buddy.
It's late at night, very late.
It's not late at night. Sun's still out.
But they will be on a limb tonight and through tomorrow morning. But I tell you what, come Saturday, there's one bird that's not going to go flying up a limb anymore.
So you're saying, yeah, Sunday or Saturday night, there's gonna be one less turkey in the trees.
Yeah, it's going to be because of this guy.
Yikes. I'm just thinking this now, and before I forget, we had 2 people that we on our hat giveaway that we ended up. I picked both. Only we were gonna do one, but I believe is it McCracken. I can't remember his
Ernie
exact-
McCracken?
No, I don't.
That's
remember.
not his name.
Goose
No.
Guzik.
No, that's the other one.
Gus Guzik, I think.
Yeah, Gus Guzik. But the first guy was Cody McCracken. Yeah, I was right. Cody McCracken was the first guy that guessed the sheds correctly. I think he cheated a little bit. He used to be roommates with Luke.
That's
But
not
no,
cheating.
That's not cheating. No,
By any means.
But no, he actually heard about us through Luke, because Luke had said something about us on Instagram after he was on the podcast. So he tuned in. He commented right away that 84 sheds, and so he was the winner. And then shortly after, we got Gus Guzik jumped on there, and he said 84 sheds, 14 deadheads. Now I know
An even more right answer.
even though all we asked for sheds, I felt that it was pretty cool that he picked up on that as well. So I, on my own, decided we were gonna have 2 winners.
Congrats, guys.
So just for you guys, we're gonna Cody. I'm just gonna send his via USPS. Gus, I guess he said Luke can hook him up.
Right on.
So, well, I said that was totally random, but before I forgot,
I wouldn't say it's totally random because
I mean, it is White Cat Apparel. So,
Yeah.
Also, I'm just going to say it on the down low. We are taking donations for hats. So if anybody is interested in getting a hat, message us. We're not selling them, but if you would like to acquire a hat for a small donation to the cause, let us know, and we can hook you guys up. So they're pretty sweet. White Cat Outdoors and Get Outside, and it's got the sweet logo.
Nick's
fishing-
rocking one right now.
Yeah, I rock one almost every day. The fishing ones are going really fast.
Don't
But
like hotcakes.
so, just so you guys know, that's out there. Also, while we're on news and good housekeeping, I thought, and I haven't even run this by Tom and Frank yet, but I'm just going to go for it anyways. During
Is this you running it by us, or is this you
Yeah.
going over our heads and doing it anyway?
a little bit of both. So because we are White Cat Outdoors and we do podcasts year round, but there's different hunting seasons that go on throughout, and I want to start what we call the kill report each week while we're in a hunting season. Going on the podcast, anytime we have our listeners or friends of ours getting it done, I want to do a little bit of a segment on a weekly kill report. So this week we got Zach Yonkin laid a bird down.
Yep.
We got Keith Sharp laid down 2 birds, and Connor Wakefield, the whitetail drifter, smoked his first bird with a bow, no blind. So I
heck
talked
of a
to
feat.
So I talked to him a little while ago when the season just started, and he was telling me he's after his first spring turkey. First spring turkey, he decided he was going to try it with a bow and no blind.
Lofty goal for the first one, but
Yeah, so he was telling me about that and how he was working on it, and then just this past weekend, got the picture, said he's
that's
it's
awesome
done.
that he got it done literally the first time he tried.
like first season. That's pretty sick. But yeah, so I don't know if you guys like that or not, but I think I'd like to do during the season. We'll do the kill report.
Yeah, I'd get down on that.
We could even do a quick fishing report and stuff throughout the summer, or during deer season, because the big buck alerts were monstrous last year.
Yeah.
Just monster bucks going down like crazy. So we didn't have the
we could
podcast
have him
then.
submit a photo too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
we'll post it up.
Yeah, so I think that's just if you guys, anyone that's listening and stuff, if you get the job done, shoot us a message and we'll give you a shout out on the podcast that week. So
Yeah, Nick. Next time you have a good idea, maybe have it a little bit sooner.
yeah, because we're in week 2.5, 3 into turkey season.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, better late than never, right?
Yep.
No, or a kill report is better than no kill report, right? That's what the famous guy said.
Yep.
That's Nick's write it in pen.
Yeah. So we'll do that each week during the season.
So next week, you guys can look forward to seeing my kill report up there.
That's true. Actually, I think you guys hinted on like sending that out, but we should, like every Saturday, because technically Saturday is like the end of a week.
Yeah.
We'll
Not technically, it is.
It is. I mean, because it's like you're hunting turkeys that week, but you know what I mean. Anyway, so like Saturday, what we'll do is it'll be like a collage of everybody from that week's kill report. So
That's sharp. I like
if you
that.
guys want to end up on the kill report, send us in a picture. We'll tag you in the photo.
Do it by Saturday.
Yep. Well, I mean, like I said, anything that's been killed up till Saturday, boom. If if we post it up a little bit later, or whatever, and you got a bird and stuff, you'll be on next week. So let's keep that rolling and get everybody's kill report out there. So
I like it.
that is good stuff right there. Thought about that on my way out here, silently, sitting right next to Tom and Carly, and
Kept it to yourself.
right over the head. But yeah, that's about it for me at this point. Do you guys have any, closing remarks on the episode here?
Not really. I mean, just definitely expect to see me, Nick, and Tom on the kill report in a couple weeks, or even Nick and Tom this week coming up.
I haven't.
You saying you're not going to be in the woods?
I'm just saying, you guys are going to New York. It's a special trip, so it's a little bit more
very
exciting.
special.
But yeah, I haven't. Since I am a working man now, I haven't been able to spend as much time in the woods. But I finally got a full weekend of hunting lined up. So
It's going to be good stuff.
yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah.
All right, guys. That about sums it up for this week. Like you said, send us your pictures. You get up on the kill report. Gus and Mr. McCracken, we'll be getting your hats out to you guys shortly, so you guys can rep those.
Yeah, thanks a lot for listening, guys. We appreciate you.
Yeah, we always like hearing about listeners, and especially like I asked that guy, how he heard about us, and he had told me just through Luke. So it's cool that like people are starting to hear about it. So I don't know, in good fashion, like we always do on the old podcast, make sure you guys are just getting outside.